Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Boachi and once again you are welcome to the Mood channel. When I was a child growing up, there were a couple of things that we could buy. Other things we would have to save a lot of money to buy. Now, I was a very little child. I didn't know what was going on. But at times I would ask my mom or dad to buy me something and he would be like, oh, wait a little bit. I'm working towards it and all that. Another things, he wouldn't make me talk for long. He would be like, okay, I've got it. I'll just buy it right away. Now, I am someone who comes from a typical working class family. Yes, they work and they get paid, and out of the payment, they try to buy the things I need or basic utilities. Now, with those of you who are in the working class, you realize that when you are growing up, you don't really feel the pressure, the economic pressure, because at least when you ask for something, you get it. And the number of things that you would ask and not get are very little. So you would think, okay, we are okay. Until I got to a certain age and I realized that some of my friends were actually buying cars. Just anytime they want to buy a car, they can just go there and be like, okay, I like this, how this car looks, so I'm buying it. And I looked at their families and I looked at mine too, and I realized, okay, there's a little bit of difference, though it wasn't really a pressure until I got to a stage where now I was missing some opportunity just because of money. There wasn't enough money to either afford or to either access an opportunity. And I thought through this and I realized that money is something that is very, very important. If you've not been in a situation where you've not been challenged in a way, you wouldn't know why it's important to gain financial freedom. Because uh, I've watched several videos where people had to lose their lives because they couldn't afford medical bill. Recently, I watched a video where a man was seriously struggling just so that he wanted to do a kidney transplant, and all his family had worked very, very hard for him to get that amount of money. And just imagine an entire family working so hard for you to make to get a successful surgery. Meanwhile, they couldn't afford, so in the end they had to come to social media and start asking for funds. Unfortunately, the man lost his life just because they didn't get the money on time. And he had to die because he couldn't afford it. Just imagine a situation like this. Others have missed very huge opportunities just because they didn't have enough money. I know of someone who had passed and had to go to the medical school, like very, very huge opportunity. Unfortunately, his family couldn't afford, so at the end of the day, he had to end up at a different place in life. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, poverty is something that is very sensitive to talk about because it's kind of like makes people uncomfortable. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we have to face the facts. Financial freedom is something that is very important. Financial freedom can improve the quality of your life. It can give you access to opportunities, can give you access to influential people. It can make your life easier. That is why you don't joke with money. That is why you don't joke with working hard and information. Because at the end of the day, what is distinguishing you from whoever is making a lot of money is what you know and your information. You see, so many people are struggling in life because they have not gotten access to some information. And the wealth comes from the information that you know, because the proof of the knowledge you have is the results that you have. And at times you have to question what we know and what has kept us in the particular class that we find ourselves. And even for the working class, you see that they can afford a couple of things. But there are other people who are coming from families where they can't even afford a balanced diet, or they can't even afford a decent meal. What do we tell these people? what goes on in their minds when they have to live life just to be able to see the next meal. And it makes it so difficult because once you are not even making enough money to afford food, how then do you think about great stuff like exploring the world and living in abundance? Because at the end of the day, the situation you find yourself in has reduced you to someone who is who is hopping from meal to meal, not knowing what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, if you are watching me and you are in a situation where you are in poverty, you are struggling with money, you don't know what to do with your life, you are missing opportunities here and there just because you can't afford certain things or you can't get access to certain opportunities, this video is for you. And I'm here to tell you to keep pushing and leave no stone unturned, because money is very important. So keep working hard and keep grinding and keep searching for information and knowledge that will take you from wherever you find yourself. Because at the end of the day, what is going to distinguish you is not wherever you find yourself, is the knowledge that you have and what you are willing to do with the knowledge. You find yourself missing opportunities, and let that be a source of motivation. If you've missed an opportunity because of money, or if a relative has passed away because of money, or if you can't access purchase whatever you want to buy because of money, let this be a motivation. Let this fuel you to work extremely hard so that you make enough money. Because when you make enough money, life will be better. You can access all the opportunities that you want. You can support your relatives when they ask for help. You can build all the projects. Everything at all you want to work on is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mood Channel, a channel that seeks to inspire, motivate, and edify people from all walks of life. So if you watched the content and you really enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification button to get updates on future uploads. Thanks for watching. Till we meet again.